They emptied the $120,000 I'd saved since I was 18 and used it to pay off my brother's student debt, fund his honeymoon, and buy him a luxury car. When I called them, my father said, "Thanks for your naivety, your family now, pay your share." I couldn't stop laughing because the money they took was actually. "Thanks for your naivety," my father said. "Your family now, pay your share." I stared at the phone like it had just barked at me. "Excuse me?" I asked, not because I didn't hear him. I wanted him to say it again. Slower, with the weight it deserved. But he just chuckled and added, "Come on, you've always been the responsible one. What's a little help for your brother? You're not selfish, are you?" That was when I laughed. Loud, sharp, bitter. The kind of laugh that sounds like it's bouncing off broken glass. Because the money they took, every cent of that $120,000, wasn't what they thought it was. But we'll get there. Let me back up a little. The last time I saw my parents in person, it was during a family dinner in late March. I'd brought wine, a pie I baked the night before, and an awkward attempt at optimism. I hadn't seen my brother in months, but he was there. Fresh tan from his honeymoon. Wearing a Rolex that definitely wasn't there the last time he posted a mirror selfie. I remember the exact words my dad said that night. We were halfway through dinner when he raised his glass and said, "To David's future. May your student loans never haunt you, and may your new car treat you better than your last mistake." Then he turned to me. "And thank you, Nathan, for being the kind of son who doesn't make us worry. For always being the good one." My mother giggled. My brother smirked. I didn't get it yet. Not until the next morning, when I checked my bank account and realized my life savings were gone. All of it. Every cent I had saved since I was 18. Every birthday check I never spent. Every freelance payment I squirreled away in my someday fund. $120,000, drained like a bathtub someone else had bathed in. At first, I thought it was fraud. A hack. I called the bank, half panicked, half ashamed. Nope. It was authorized. Apparently, my name had been added to a family trust account months ago. A joint structure for emergencies. I had signed something at Christmas. I remember the paperwork, but they said it was a tax form for a family investment plan. They waved it off as routine, and I signed it like a fool. Like family. It got worse. The funds had already been dispersed. A $58,000 loan payoff for David's MBA. $12,000 to book a honeymoon in the Maldives. $38,500 for a new Tesla. The rest? Miscellaneous family expenses. I called them, shaking, furious, but polite, because for some reason, that's how I was raised. My mom didn't answer. My brother sent a heart emoji and a thumbs up. But my father? My father picked up and said, "Thanks for your naivety. Your family now, pay your share." And that's when something inside me cracked. Not snapped. Cracked. Slow. Deep. Like something heavy shifting under a frozen lake. I couldn't stop laughing. Because the money they stole wasn't what they thought. And neither was I. When I was 19, I gave my brother my laptop because it broke and he needed it for school. When I was 21, I covered my parents' mortgage for 3 months because Dad said the market was rough, and I'd get it all back eventually. When I was 24, I co-signed a loan for David because his credit was just a formality. By the time I was 27, I had sent them so much money I had to write it all down in a spreadsheet just to stay sane. And not once, did they say thank you. It was never framed as generosity. It was framed as duty. I was the dependable one. The fixer. The background character in their movie who always shows up in the third act with a check and a tired smile. But they weren't villains. Not at first glance. My dad was charming. Everyone said so. He could tell a story, pour a drink, make you feel like the center of the world, until you disagreed with him. Then he'd rip you open with a smile still on his face. My mom was sweet, quiet, always caught in the middle. But she never stopped him. Not once. And David, my golden boy brother? He weaponized guilt like a surgeon. "I'm trying, man. It's not easy being the one they expect so much from. You wouldn't get it. You're not the one with pressure on your shoulders." I paid for his LSAT prep. He dropped out. I paid for his second chance at business school. He ghosted the program for 6 weeks to go to Ibiza. But I still showed up. I still sent money. Because I believed, like a fool, that eventually they'd see me. Not as a wallet. Not as a fallback plan. But as a person. That belief died the day I saw the Instagram post. David standing in front of his new Tesla, one hand on the roof, one arm around his fiancée, captioned, "Work hard, play harder. New chapter begins. Hashtag grind pays off, hashtag blessed, hashtag no handouts." No handouts. I sat on the floor of my apartment, in the same sweats I'd worn for 3 days, staring at the screen like it was speaking in tongues. That car? That vacation? His ring? My money. But to the world, he was the self-made man. I didn't comment, didn't react. Just closed the app and opened my files. Because here's the thing. I had screenshots of the transactions, of the messages where he begged, of the lies. I had the emergency emails, the receipts, the PayPal logs, the wire transfer confirmations, and the signature page from the trust account they tricked me into signing still saved in my cloud, because I'm paranoid like that. But it got worse. My cousin Laura messaged me. Hey, is it true what your mom said about you investing in David's startup? That's amazing. She said you believed in him when no one else did. I stared at the screen. Startup? There was no startup. I asked for proof. Laura sent a screenshot of a group chat. My mother had posted a message. We're so grateful to Nathan. He believed in David's app idea. That's what family does. It's not about the money, it's about trust. That's when I realized this wasn't just theft. It was narrative theft. They weren't just using my money, they were using my name to make David look like a genius. I was the silent investor, the supporting character, the invisible crutch. So I sent my mother a message. There's no app, is there? She replied. You're overthinking again. Why do you always do this? That was her trick. Every time I asked for truth, she made it a personality flaw. I ignored her. Started digging deeper. I contacted the bank, confirmed every transaction, and then purely out of suspicion, I checked my credit history. And that's when the floor dropped. They'd opened a second credit line. In my name, linked to my childhood address. $17,200 charged in the last 90 days. Flights, jewelry, spa packages, a $6,500 furniture purchase from Restoration Hardware, all under the pretense of shared family credit. I called my dad. This time, no politeness. He picked up like nothing was wrong. Hey there, son. I was just talking to David about maybe getting you to help with the down payment on their house. The market's rough, but it's time he starts building equity. I didn't even raise my voice. You opened a second credit line under my name. You forged my signature. Silence. Then laughter. Don't be dramatic. We're family. You've always been the responsible one. It balances out. This is fraud. No, son. This is legacy. You help David now, and later he helps your kids. I hung up, but they weren't done. That night, I got added to a new group chat. Extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins. The name? Family First. First message was from my mom. Please support David and Kayla's new life. Nathan's been so generous, true family values. We're proud of him. Second message was a link to a GoFundMe. Goal, $50,000. Purpose, down payment support and business growth. Listed donors? My name. Twice. Anonymous $5,000 donation. From Big Bro. I hadn't donated a cent. They were using me as their bait. And people were buying it. I wanted to scream. But instead, I clicked download. Every message. Every lie. Every pixel of manipulation. Because I was done. And I was just getting started. You used my name to fund your fantasy. Now I'm using my voice to end your story. I scheduled the live stream for 8 p.m. sharp. No teaser. No drama. Just a cold caption. What does betrayal sound like when it comes with a smile? I've got the receipts. At 7:55, there were 60 people waiting. At 8:03, over 900. Most of them family. Some mutuals. A few strangers. I recognized one of David's fiancé's cousins in the chat. I started with silence. Just the title slide. How my family stole $120,000 and called it love. Then I turned on the camera. Hi, I'm Nathan. You've seen my name on GoFundMe pages, Facebook posts, maybe wedding photos. You probably thought I was the generous one. The good brother. The quiet son. I was quiet. But not anymore. I clicked to the next slide. A PDF of my drained savings account. $120,437.52 withdrawn over 7 months. Labeled. Tuition reimbursement, David. Family travel, honeymoon prep. Vehicle assistance. Miscellaneous. I said nothing. Let them read. Then I spoke. I didn't authorize a single one of those transfers. But my name was on the trust account because I was tricked into signing a fake tax form at Christmas. I moved on. Slide. My credit report. New credit card. Opened from my childhood address. $17,200 balance. Then the forged signature. I zoomed in. That's not my handwriting. But that's my name. That's my credit score. That's my life. The chat was exploding. This is criminal. Your own family? Bro, this is actual fraud, not drama. Wait, I donated to that GoFundMe? I switched to the next file, a screenshot of the GoFundMe. My name listed as a $5,000 donor. I'd never given a cent. This campaign? Completely fake. My name? Used to add credibility. I'm not angry at those who donated. I understand why you did. I believed in them once too. But it's important the truth is known. To bait more money. Some of you gave because you thought, if his brother believes in him, maybe I should too. I didn't. Then came the audio. My dad's voice, clipped from a call 2 weeks earlier. You're part of this family, Nate. You don't get to opt out. Everyone pays their share. Then him laughing. Thanks for being so naive. It made things easier. The stream froze for a second. Comments flooded in. And then, the chat lit up with a single name. Kayla, David's ex-fiancée. She wrote, I didn't know he used your money. I'm so sorry. I left him when I found out. 3 dots. Then another comment. He told me you co-signed the Tesla with love. I should have known. I didn't respond. I just clicked the last slide. A final message. This is not revenge. This is self-defense. You used my silence. My savings. My signature. I'm not here to cry. I'm here to close the door. And if it slams, so be it. I'm not here to humiliate. I'm here to reclaim my name and show how easy it is to erase someone's voice when they stay silent too long. And with that, I ended the stream. At 8:41 p.m., my phone rang. Dad. Ignored. 8:42 Mom. Voicemail. How could you do this to us? We're humiliated. 8:45, David texted. You really think the internet will love you forever? You're just bitter. I replied with one sentence. I kept the original trust document. And the call logs. Keep texting. He didn't reply. That night, my story started trending under a hashtag I didn't create. Hashtag family fraud. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel ashamed. I felt seen. You didn't lose your reputation because I told the truth. You lost it because you built it on my silence. By morning, the live stream had passed 220,000 views. By afternoon, it was embedded on 3 blog sites, reposted on TikTok, stitched with commentary by financial educators, therapists, and one lawyer who said flat out, this is a perfect example of financial abuse inside a family. And he handled it like a surgeon. I didn't smile. Not even once. Because I knew what was coming next. At 3:27 p.m., my mother's post went live on Facebook. A photo of me and David as kids, smiling, holding popsicles in the backyard. Captioned, no mother is perfect, but no mother deserves to be crucified publicly by her own child. We raised our sons with love. Even when we had nothing. We forgave. We sacrificed. But some people forget. Underneath, hundreds of comments. Sending love. Stay strong. He'll come around. This generation loves to cancel everything. Even blood. But something was different. Sprinkled between the pity posts were voices like mine. Didn't he post the receipts? What about the forged credit line? Wait, didn't they actually steal from him? I saw the video. Don't gaslight us. By midnight, her post had been flagged 6 times for misinformation. The next day, I received a letter from an attorney. A cease and desist. Accusations of defamation. Emotional distress. Threats of legal action. I didn't flinch. Instead, I forwarded the letter to my own attorney, Mia, and attached a signed trust document with forged details, an audio file of my father admitting to the theft, screen recordings of GoFundMe donations falsely attributed to me, and a bank statement tracing $120,000 in unauthorized withdrawals. Mia responded in one line. We took legal action. By 6 p.m., she had filed a counter notice. Formal demand for repayment in full, $120,000 plus 5% penalty for unauthorized use of financial instruments, credit fraud, and reputational damages. It was sent to both my parents' attorney and their accountant. I made sure of it. Then I posted once. No hashtags. No anger. Just truth. You didn't lose your reputation because I spoke. You lost it because I stopped covering for you. Attached, legal filings, bank screenshots, GoFundMe logs. It spread like wildfire. Hashtag Team Nathan started trending. Then hashtag family fraud. Then hashtag not your son. People from all over the world shared it. Some DM me with their own stories. Others offered free legal advice. A nonprofit for victims of financial abuse reshared my stream with a comment. Not all abusers are partners. Sometimes, they share your last name. On Thursday, the fallout began. David deleted every social media account he owned. His fiance's parents pulled out of the wedding planning. The venue canceled. The registry was wiped. Mom's Facebook account disappeared after people started flooding old posts with screenshots from my stream. My dad tried to post a vague, macho real men don't whine online status. It got 3 likes, all from people who hadn't watched the stream yet. By Friday, I got a message from a blocked number. I opened it only because curiosity beat dignity. It was a photo of a bank transfer confirmation. $120,000, wired to my personal account. Labeled, Family Resolution. No apology. No message. Just the money. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I forwarded the image to Mia and said, Mark is received, but tell them the interest was silence, and I'm not accepting that anymore. She replied, Want to respond publicly? I shook my head. No. They already said enough. They still tried. A final post from Mom on a private account. We've settled everything. Things were misunderstood. Love wins. People weren't buying it anymore. Not after the truth had faces, files, and 200,000 witnesses. I didn't reply. I didn't post again. I just sat in my quiet apartment. Rent prepaid for a year, groceries in the fridge, no missed calls, no family group chat, and let the silence bloom. It didn't feel empty. It felt earned. I didn't disappear to punish them. I disappeared so I'd never need to survive them again. It didn't happen overnight. But once I started cutting, I didn't stop. I changed everything. Bank accounts closed. Phone number deactivated. The downtown condo? Sold in cash. I never went back to pack. Just hired a service and said, burn the furniture. I moved 1,200 miles south and took an apartment with no lease in a city no one could guess. Somewhere bland. Humid. Anonymous. I chose the name Nathan E. Cross because it sounded clean. It sounded like someone who had never owed anything to anyone. And I was done being the guy who everyone called when the roof leaked or the bills piled up. I bought a pre-owned Toyota. No loan. No flash. I stopped wearing watches. I stopped celebrating my birthday. I started living on hard resets. Every click, new password. Every sunrise, new rule. No family. No blood. Just silence. They tried, at first. Mom used other people's phones. Fake accounts. Her messages were always the same. Please just talk to us. This isn't how family works. We're still your parents. She didn't understand that parents don't forge your signature. That real love doesn't come with billing statements and shame. So I blocked every number, every platform, every ghost they sent. Even David tried once. One message. No greeting. Congratulations. You've made yourself a martyr. Don't choke on your ego. I didn't reply. I didn't even screenshot it. Because he didn't exist anymore. Not to me. 3 months passed. I got a new job, freelance cybersecurity for a company based in Iceland. Paid in crypto. No HR, no tax forms with my real name. I started going for runs at night. No music. Just the sound of gravel and wind and my own body catching up with itself. I told no one where I was. Not even the people I worked with. I became a whisper in a new place. And it was beautiful. Until the envelope came. A heavy one. No return name. Just an embossed seal. Dunbridge and Lowen LLP. At first, I thought they'd found me. Maybe Mom had hired someone. Maybe David was trying to sue me for emotional damage. I stared at it for 20 minutes before opening it with a steak knife. Inside, 2 pages. One formal. One personal. Formal. This notice is to inform you of the passing of Mr. Robert H. Graves. The decedent's final will and testament has been processed. Personal. Mr. Graves has intentionally left no assets, property, or inheritance to Nathaniel Graves. This is not a clerical error. There it was. In black ink. A final verdict from a man who spent his life humiliating me in public, then pretending I was too sensitive in private. He was gone. And in the final breath of his legacy, he made sure the paperwork reflected his pettiness. I read the words slowly. And then again. And again. And then I laughed. Because after a lifetime of empty promises and broken words, he finally kept one. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't ask if there was one. I didn't check obituaries or make a burner account to spy. I did one thing. I printed the will, drove to a stretch of beach where no one knew my name, built a small fire in the sand, and fed that will, line by line, into the flames. As the smoke curled up into the sky, I whispered, "You didn't forget me. You erased me. And now I've returned the favor." Later that week, I set a final digital trigger. An automated reply that said, "This number is no longer monitored. This name is no longer valid. If you're looking for Nathan, you already lost him." I programmed it into my old email before deleting the account. Forever. Now I drink coffee alone. I watch people laugh from a distance and feel nothing but freedom. No one in my new life knows I had a brother. No one asks about my parents. And I never correct them. They think I'm quiet. They think I'm private. But really, I'm clean. I carry nothing that wasn't built with my own two hands. And every morning I wake up to stillness. I remember what it felt like to be needed only when someone else fell apart. Final line. They wanted to bury me in obligation. I chose silence, not as punishment, but as survival. And when my father left me nothing, for once, he kept a promise.